Hello, and welcome to the Healing Insight podcast, episode 3, with me, Sarah Hunt.
And me, Jez Hunt.
And today we thought we'd have a little look at the objectives of true healing and give you some understanding of that.
Yes, it'll be good to understand it myself. I can't believe we're episode 3 already. How awesome is this?
I know, it's really cool, isn't it? And I am so enjoying putting these podcasts together. I don't know about you, but I'm learning from you, and I feel you're learning from me as well. And it's great that we can share our knowledge with each other and then share it with those people that are interested in what we have to offer.
Absolutely. And well, life's a continual learning process, isn't it? As we know.
Absolutely, absolutely, it is. So today I thought it would be interesting for us to have a discussion about what true healing is and what the objective of true healing is, because I do feel that people kind of sometimes go, well, what is healing? I don't really get what healing is, and I think it's kind of to help people to understand that there's many different levels of healing and there's many different ways of healing. But really what true healing is all about is to try and get to the root cause of the issues that are creating either a medical problem in you or issues in your life where you don't feel that you're able to move forward. And last time we were talking about dis-ease, weren't you? So for me, true healing is about bringing people back to a place of ease, bringing body, mind and soul back into balance once more. So so that's kind of what I thought it'd be really good to have a discussion around today.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. So, what is the objective of true healing then?
Well, the key objective is to find the root cause of whatever is causing you to feel at dis-ease with yourself. So and getting to that root cause can take many different pathways, and sometimes as well, I've certainly experienced in my own journey how sometimes that dis-ease with yourself can be on many layers as well and many levels. And it may be that you need to kind of approach it from a cognitive level, so first of all, to kind of get an understanding, like you were saying last time about how sometimes your clients really, what you're doing is helping them to understand where the problem's coming from. But it's about gaining some insight, gaining some understanding of where that problem's coming from, clearing that energy. From my perspective, certainly clearing that energy so that um, things kind of level out and come back into a place of balance once more.
Yeah, that's the word that just came out. I was just about to throw that in when you finished. It's about getting back into balance.
Yes, yes, it is. And of course, as we come back into that place of balance, it allows our heart center to open, and the heart center is so important on an energetic level anyway, because when our heart centers open, it gives us our connection with ourselves and with our soul on a very deep level. um, and also it helps us then to recognize what our purpose is, and I think we were talking about purpose a little bit in the first episode, weren't we, that we did. But we can have many different purposes, but our purpose is always about making our heart sing. So whatever makes us feel really happy is what we should be doing. Whether that's for a job, whether that's in our personal lives with our families, everything that we do needs to be coming from our heart center, and everything that we say as well. But when we need things healing, that can put us in a place where we're not as heart-centered as maybe we could be, because we're at dis-ease with ourselves and we're not sure quite how to deal with the situation.
Yeah, I think dis-ease is going to be an ongoing theme throughout this series of podcasts, because obviously it comes back to, obviously to me, it comes back to not being at peace with yourself in some way for some reason. And like you're saying, doing things that make your heart sing. In that case, I should give up. Well, I love the coaching anyway. It makes my heart sing, helping people in that way. But I love my painting. I love my walking. So I'm doing the things that I love to do all the time. Well, I'm not painting all the time, but in my life, I have regular painting. I do regular painting. I do regular walking, regular outdoor stuff, and I do regular coaching. The three things that really, really, really make my life happy and my heart and soul sing. So yeah, no, absolutely with that. And I think just touching on the cognitive side of things, it's there's a positive, it's a double-edged sword is what I'm trying to say. There's a positive and a negative to that, because sometimes understanding what's going on and understanding where something's come from, the root cause of something cognitively, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can help. But if we go too far into that, again, air quotes, I have to do air quotes on podcasts because you can't do it. But if you go too far into the trying to understand why something's happening, it doesn't necessarily serve you in a positive way. It can actually send you down a rabbit hole of not false information, but just false. You're looking at something or looking for something that doesn't actually matter and isn't actually relevant.
Yeah.
So it's finding that balance between what we need to know to understand to be able to move forward, to connect with our heart center, absolutely, to feel what needs to be done. So that awareness we talked about in the last episode, becoming aware of what the body's doing and what the body's telling us, to then be able to have that, right, I need to do some healing, I need to do some meditation, I need to do some journaling, I need to do whatever is the right thing for that individual in that moment. And I think so it's important to be able to understand it to that degree. But when we start trying to analyze and understand why why my personality clashes with XYZ person, okay, but does it actually matter?
Um, I suppose on a cognitive level, it probably doesn't matter. What sometimes it can. I suppose it depends on the
It depends. Yeah.
situation. I think that's what I'm kind of trying to say. um, and one of the things that I find really useful with energy healing is that you can get to the root cause without having to relive that trauma, without having to know the ins and outs of things. Sometimes I have people who come to me and there's big family issues going on, and parts of the family aren't talking to each other, and there have been all sorts of issues that have gone on, and I've just by clearing all the negative energies that are connecting people to each other, that can make a huge difference into the way that they react and respond within the family unit with each other. Nobody else in the family knows usually that those energies are being cleared, because it's that one person that's come to me with the issues, and they're kind of saying, well, it's affecting all of us. But the positive effect that has, and I think that's the beauty of healing yourself, is that as you clear stuff that's connecting you to other people, that's connecting you to situations that have been traumatic, you shift that out of your energy, your whole energy changes, and that then has a ripple effect on everybody else around you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and of course, if you have addressed an issue and it's no longer an issue for you on whatever level that is, then you change your behavior. So if you've had a big Barney with your partner, and the energies of that have being cleared, you're then able to communicate better and resolve the issues.
Yes.
So whatever it might be, it's, you know, sometimes we need to do the cognitive work and we need to understand it, but you can also overanalyze things and overthink things, and sometimes we just need to accept that it is what it is.
Yes.
And that's an important place to be, because when you're in a place where you can go, it is what it is, you're not attaching any emotion to it, you're not attached to the situation, you're not attached to the relationship, you're not attached to the person. So that means it's a lot easier to deal with. But when somebody's getting triggered and upset, then it's an indication that there's attachment there. A negative attachment just causes drama. So clearing those attachments, and sometimes, you know, it's loads of attachments that I need to clear, and sometimes it needs to go all the way along the ancestral blood and family lines, and that changes the whole dynamic of a family, so that that it's not just the person that's come to me directly for healing, but it's actually healing everybody else around them as well.
Yeah, I think
one of the
sorry.
Go on. No, go
Well,
on.
no, that's right. I was going to say, I think one of the key things you said there was about attachment, not having attachment. I've had conversations with people who've sort of said, "Oh, well, you know, it is what it is." That's a bit of a, you know, yeah. It's one of those phrases that get bandied around, particularly in the alternative medicine or alternative therapy arena. Oh, it is what it is. Just accept it. I think when you get to that point of understanding that it is what it is, it's not meant in the glib way. It's meant in the just accepting that things will be as they are, and we can influence, as we said right at the beginning, in terms of we can influence the future and influence what happens moving forwards, but we can't change the past. So what's happened. It is what it is where you are today, now in this moment. You can't change what's led you to that moment. So letting go of the attachment to what happened. So if you have an argument, so go back to your example, argument with a partner, you can't change the events that led to that argument. You can't change the actual argument unless you're actually in the middle of it, if you see what I mean. You can change where it goes, but once it's happened, you can't change it. What you can do is release the energy of it and then deal with it from a place of learning and understanding, rather than just accepting that, oh, well, me and my partner always argue. Well, if you're always arguing, there's a problem there that needs addressing.
Problem. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. But like you say, it's about releasing the energy of it. It's about releasing the emotion of it. And in that kind of example, it's about opening up the communication that is going on between people. So because often in an argument, it's the way, isn't it, that people put across what they're trying to explain how they're feeling, and the other person, it's the interpretation of what's being said, and that's all based on previous experiences. And one of the things that I found with healing is that what it can bring to you is greater clarity, which then allows acceptance, as we were saying. And you know, when we're in a place where we can say it is what it is, it's kind of taking us back to what we were saying in the first episode about everything being neither good nor bad. It's a learning experience. So you know, one of the things that I found with healing is that by clearing those attachments, it takes a lot of the emotion out of the situation, and that then allows you to kind of step back and also recognize what's your stuff and what's somebody else's stuff that you've kind of got dragged into.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy, isn't it, to get caught up in somebody else's drama, and then think it's yours when actually it isn't yours. and we've all got enough of our own stuff to deal with without having somebody else's stuff that's caught up in with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just brought to mind so something I learned in sales. So part of what I do is business coaching, as you know, but for the listeners, and quite often there's a fear of rejection, a fear of someone saying no. So people won't ask for a sale. They're scared to prospect, to look for business, because they're afraid of being rejected if someone's saying no. And when you actually take the emotion out of yes and no, and accept the fact that if someone's saying, or realize the fact that when someone's saying no, they're not saying no to you, they're saying, no, I'm not ready for whatever it is you're offering. And when you look at it, and one of the games I get clients to play is go for no, is to focus on getting no's. How many no's can you get this week? Because if you focus on the no, I mean, that doesn't mean go out of your way to upset people so they say no. You're still trying to sell your business.
I'm glad to hear that.
But if you focus on the no's, the yeses will come. You know, the yes lives within the land of no. I think book called Go for No. Can't remember who the author was actually, but
perhaps we look that up and put it in the
show notes
afterwards, because it might help some people.
So if you focus on the no's, and if you treat it, it's kind of like that. Okay, so that's a yes. That's one of those. That's a no. That's one of those. It doesn't matter. It's the same emotionally. If you treat it the same and detach from the emotion of someone saying no to you or someone saying yes to you, it's just a step in the process of your business. So if you then,
I would. Sorry.
No.
I was just going to say, I agree. You need to disconnect from the emotion of the no. But when you get the yes, you don't need negative attachments to it. But you need that feeling of, wow, yes, I've got a yes this time, because then that will bring more to you of the yeses.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you with that. In terms of
that's okay. We're looking at it from different perspectives.
So, okay, I'm going to jump forward a little bit. So, yes, celebrate every win. Absolutely. What I'm talking about is in that moment of yes and no, then it doesn't matter emotionally whether you get a yes or a no. It's just it is what it is moment. It is that person said yes to me. Great. It's a yes. That person said no to me. Great. It's a no. Rather than that person said no to me, and oh yeah, great, that person said yes. And the reason I say that, yes, celebrate your win, but just detach from the outcome in the moment, is that it can take you down the wrong path of how you come across to the client. Because, okay, so in a business setting, if you come across as too excited, you can come across as quite desperate. And particularly if you've had a lot of no's, then that energy of desperation of, oh my God, thank God for that. I've got a client. Yay. That will come across, and that can then cause a discord. What's the word I'm looking for?
Disconnect.
No, that's not what I'm looking for. But yeah, there's then there's something not congruent about it. There's something not quite right, and it won't be at a conscious level. It will be at a subliminal, subconscious level, or at a soul level, or at even a heart level, and you can then get doubt. And I've seen so many people who've got really excited in front of a client when they've signed up, and then the client's backed out.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and from my perspective, that would be because they've got negative attachments. They've got negative attachments to their expectations. They've got negative attachments perhaps to that client. They've got negative attachments to whether it's going to be a yes or a no. And clearing that energy out of the way, like you say, will help people, and the way that you do it as well will help people to come into that place of it is what it is, so that there is that still that feeling of, yeah, that's great that I've got the yes, but not in a way that it's desperation. So yeah, I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah. So it's just, whether it's a yes or a no, it's right.
Yeah.
It's that kind of, the outcome will be what the outcome is. And don't worry if it's a no, don't worry if it's a yes. It just is what it is
Yeah.
from an emotional attachment point of view.
Yeah. And that kind of takes you back into a place of your own power, doesn't it? So that you are empowered to be your true self. And I think that's another key thing with healing, is it's really about empowering you to be your true self. And when you're your true self and you're working from the heart and you're heart led and heart centered, then you're truthful and honest, and that reflects in the way that people respond to you. And when you feel, when you're being your true self and you're authentic, then you feel empowered to move things forward in a way, from a business. I mean, we've both been in business, haven't we? So from a business point of view, if you were doing a sale, you'd move it forward so that you meet the customer's needs. And it's the same really with me, with my clients. It's looking at meeting that person's needs by the healing work that I do to help them to feel empowered to be their true self. And when you step into your own power, then you don't have attachment to anything. You're able to look at things from that perspective of everything is just what it is.
Yeah. And that then goes back to, I think we've mentioned this in the first episode as well, but that then goes back to the place of choosing and being able to see something objectively and be able to respond to it, to that situation, rather than going in energetically and reacting to it. So, coming from a place of response where you can take that step back and say, what's actually going on here? So that person said yes, that person said no, whatever it might be. I have no direct control. I might be able to influence to a degree, but I have no direct control over what that client or that person is going to say. They're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. But if I'm attached to that, or if I'm coming from a place of, so if I react to that, they say no, and I go into the whole, see, that's proof I'm not good enough. See, nobody wants to buy from me. You're just perpetuating that negative energy, that negative cycle. Whereas if you can come from it from a place of, okay, it wasn't right for that person. That's okay. Next. And that was something else. No is an acronym for next one.
Oh, good
there
one.
You go.
Good one. Yeah, I think that's an important thing to kind of understand with it, isn't it? The other thing, probably some of the key things, one of the key things with healing is understanding that it's a journey, and it's a journey of self-discovery. It's not a quick fix, but it's all about learning to go inward, to connect with yourself, to understand yourself better, to understand the journey that you've had, whether you're just looking at your journey in this life or whether you want to explore it on deeper and deeper levels. But even, certainly with the healing work that I do, people have I've done work with them where it's like you can see a light bulb going on. I've sent them feedback and they've come back to me and said, oh my goodness, now that makes sense. I absolutely understand that. I can see where that comes from, and that was in my childhood, or that was in my teenage years, or whatever it might be. But it's kind of that light bulb moment of understanding. But I've also had experience with people where I've had people that expect me just to fix everything. One or two treatments and I'm going to be fixed, and it doesn't work like that. It's a journey of discovery. It's about being prepared to go inward, to look at yourself, to say, actually, you know what, I've got an issue with this, or I've got an issue with that. I need to address this. And then my role is very much about facilitating the energy healing to clear those issues for people, but it's so that they can reconnect with themselves and gain that greater insight into themselves.
Yeah, and from my point of view, exactly. I'm not there to run someone's business for them. I'm not there to do the work for them. I am there to facilitate, and I'm there to help them question, and there to with tools and things that we can use to actually come up with, so they can come up with the answers that they need. But you're absolutely right. You know, it is a journey of discovery. The whole point of this is us coming to terms with who we are. And I think for a lot of people, that's the biggest fear, is actually finding out who they really are, who we really are.
Yeah, I think it is. And it's, and this is then where people, they don't love themselves, and I don't mean that from an egotistical sort of,
Sure.
I really love myself, I've got my big part, I'm driving down the street and I'm, I am the big I am. It's not that at all. It's very much more when you take this journey of self-discovery, it's starting to accept who you are, it's learning who you are, it's doing the things that make you happy. It is all the things that are about self-love, and I think it's really important for people to understand that you can't truly love somebody else unless you love yourself, and it's unconditional love, not conditional love. Conditional love has conditions attached to it, and that's the sorts of situations where you get where if you behave yourself, then we'll go to the sweetie shop on the way home. That is love with attachment.
Can we? I assume you're talking about like parents with children. Sorry.
Yeah, but that is actually love with attachment, because that's saying on a subconscious level, I'll love you if you behave yourself and I'll reward you if you behave yourself, instead of accepting you for who you are. But that comes back to being able to accept yourself and love yourself, and do the things that nurture you and make you feel good and make you feel happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's been missing. It's been missing in this world for a very long time, because of so many things that have gone on. So the sort of discord in relationships and families and misunderstandings, and because people don't understand that the world is a mirror. And when you've got somebody that really irritates you, they irritate you because they're showing you something that you need to address in you. So and that's a subject we probably need to touch on in a bigger way in another session for you. But healing is about looking at those issues that are being reflected to you, about going inward and discovering what it is that needs to be addressed, and clearing out that energy, having a different perspective with things, so that you're able to step into a state of flow, so that you're able to be your authentic self, and so that you feel empowered to move forward on your journey in a way that is positive and heart-led and heart-centered.
Absolutely. Finding yourself and just connecting with yourself at that level is just life-changing. It's just awesome.
Yes, so, yeah. Absolutely it is. It definitely changes things when you start to understand that healing starts with you and starts with learning to love yourself.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay, super. And on that note, if you've got any questions, then do please get in touch with either or both of us. If you'd like some help with healing, then do please book an appointment. Until next time, take care. It's goodbye from me.
And it's still goodbye from me. Oh dear, it never gets old, does it? Take care.